The Tao of Self-Confidence, episode 758. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have an amazing lady on the show today. She's a media personality, and I'm really excited to have her on and share her story with us today on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Miss Casey Carter. Casey, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more by yourself to the listeners.
Yes, I'm doing so great. Thank you so much for asking. And yes, I am a media personality. Currently, I am the host of the Glow Up podcast. And then I have two shows on the hip hop station Cube 93.3 here in Seattle. The After Hours every single night, 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. And then Sunday nights, The Come Up, where I play new and local music from 10 p.m. to 12 a.m.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Casey, what's your cultural background?
I am Filipino.
Thanks for sharing that. And what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
Self-confidence quote. I have so many, but I would just say, be you because everyone else is already taken.
Thanks for sharing that great quote. And in your own words, how do you define self-confidence?
Self-confidence to me it's first of all, it's a really, really hard thing to get to mentally, but self-confidence is just owning who you are, accepting all the flaws, and just knowing that you're fine with who you are.
Thanks for sharing that great definition. And Casey, what was your life like before you discovered self-confidence?
You know, it's so funny because growing up, I was fully confident. I always had tons of friends. I was always hanging out with a ton of people, and things were really great until my early 20s, when I just experienced a whole bunch of really real life things where I discovered friends were not so loyal. Partners were not so loyal. And that was the first time I ever dealt with disloyalty and people not being real with me. And that totally took my confidence away. And then a few years later, I was able to rebuild that confidence. But before that, I was pretty confident.
Thanks for sharing that. And, it's crazy what happens when we just, when we step out into the world and we see things that I guess we were naive about. And, things happen for a reason. We go through some good stuff, we go through some bad stuff, but they're all learning experiences. And what was that aha moment where you got your confidence back again?
When I just realized that not everyone is perfect. Trying to worry about what everyone thought about you or trying to achieve this perception, especially being a woman who is an entrepreneur, I beat up on myself a lot while I was doing that. And I had to put a stop to that and just realize, I'm enough. I'm enough as I am, and I will always get better, and I'll be enough in the future.
Thanks for sharing that. And I think we all go through that, right? We become our own worst critic, our own worst enemy. We're like our number one judger, I guess. We just, always put ourselves down, not realizing that really hurts our confidence. And the moment we can stop being mean to ourselves and be our own best friend and be a lot kinder to ourselves, then we can, start building ourselves back up again. And because of that realization, what's your life been like now?
You know what? It's been a lot less draining. Always beating up on yourself, you get tired. I mean, imagine if there was a little person who was just always following you and beating you up and putting you down and just saying nothing was good enough for you. You're tired, you're drained. But the moment that I was able to get over that, things have been a lot lighter. Sure, you know what? I'm not even going to front. I still am very critical on myself sometimes, but I talk myself out of it, and I just feel much better about who I am and the decisions I make.
Thanks for sharing that. I like that you mentioned, you still go through stuff, because we all do, right? We're not just because, we're on this journey to self-confidence. It's not always going to be like roses and butterflies. It's going to suck sometimes. Sometimes it'll suck even more than other days, but it's just doing that work and like learning to get out of it will help us out. And that takes practice, right? It takes, daily practice to learn how to talk yourself out of like your own negative self-talk. And it's not easy because we've been so programmed to like think the worst of everything, but with practice, it gets easier and it gets better. So thanks for sharing that. And, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey to self-confidence. So what'd be that one tip you'd give to her?
Just take a breather. Everything is always going to be okay. Everything is always going to work itself out. And like, I cannot stress it enough. You are enough. You are enough. You don't need to be more. You don't need to be less. Just be who you are and be true to yourself, and everything will follow.
Thanks for sharing those great tips. And if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yes, you can connect with me heavily more on the Instagram. That's at Miss Casey Carter. And then Twitter is Casey Carter. And then my website, MissCaseyCarter.com. You can keep up with all the things I have going on there.
Thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Casey, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Casey's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else that we talked about. And I really just want to thank Casey today for taking the time to share her story and tips with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much, Casey.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Not a problem. It was really great having you on the show. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. Get your free audiobook by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.